Chosen one, I tell you with urgency, when God removes someone from your life, it is not rejection, it is refinement. Heaven never lifts its chisel without purpose. Every broken tie, every sudden departure, every slammed door was the hand of the master sculptor carving away dead weight that could not ascend with you. What feels like loss is divine architecture, shaping you for heights they were never built to climb. You may feel the sting of absence. You may question why that person walked away, why the friendship ended, why the love turned cold. But I tell you, God is not subtracting, He is multiplying. He is pruning the branches that bear no fruit so that your tree can yield an abundant harvest. Painful? Yes. Necessary? Absolutely. Do not mistake God's pruning for abandonment. Joseph was torn from his brothers, thrown into a pit, and sold into slavery. On the surface, it looked like betrayal, but in the furnace of separation, he was being prepared to govern Egypt and save nations. David was chased from the palace into caves by the very king he once soothed with music. It felt like loss, but it was training for the throne. Moses fled Egypt into the desert, stripped of title and influence, only to return as a deliverer with heaven's authority in his staff. And I say to you, the same principle is unfolding in your life. That person who left, that betrayal that broke you, that silence that unnerved you, it was a chiseling. You are being carved into someone who can carry greatness, but the enemy wants you blind. He wants you to mourn the departure so long that you miss the arrival of destiny. Fear will whisper, you are forgotten. Doubt will taunt, you are unworthy. Delay will hiss, nothing is coming. Distraction will parade false comforts before your eyes. These are thieves, shadows dressed as truth, and they have robbed many dreamers of their inheritance. But you will not be robbed. My friend, pause right here. Drop 888 in the comments to proclaim your alignment with heaven's abundance and unstoppable manifestation. That is not for the algorithm. That is a covenant act of faith, a declaration that you will not cling to what God has cut off. So hear me now, stop mourning dead branches. Stop begging for expired seasons. When God removes, it is always to replace with something higher, purer, richer, eternal. You cannot carry Pharaoh's chains and Joseph's crown. You cannot keep Saul's approval and David's throne. You cannot cling to Egypt and step into Canaan. Faith is the fire that lights your path through loss. Purpose is the compass that keeps you moving forward. Decision is the sword that cuts through hesitation. Persistence is the armor that shields you when hell itself mocks your progress. These are not suggestions, they are laws. They are the spiritual engines that separate the drifter from the destined. I have taught it and I declare it again. You must decide, not tomorrow, not when the pain fades, now. Decision is the gate through which destiny enters. Indecision is a thief that robs you silently in the night. You cannot rise while clinging to maybe. You cannot ascend while bowing to someday. You must burn the bridges behind you and declare forward only. When God removes someone, it is your test of decision. Will you chase shadows or will you step into the light? Will you cling to what once was or will you embrace what must be? History bears witness. Martin Luther King Jr.'s jail cell was not a cage but a forge where his dream grew louder than chains. Mandela's prison years stripped him of comfort but prepared him to lead a nation into freedom. Steve Jobs was stripped of his own company, yet in that exile he gathered the vision that would redefine an industry. Albert Einstein faced ridicule and rejection, but isolation gave birth to theories that bent the very laws of physics. And I tell you now, what is being stripped is not your future, it is your weight. God is saying, release it. Release the people who cannot walk where you are going. Release the memories that chain you to the past. Release the bitterness that poisons your joy. You are being positioned for something staggering. And yet do not misunderstand. Removal is not rejection. It is promotion in disguise. To prune is to prepare. To cut is to cultivate. To lose is to gain. The vaults of heaven are cracking open even as doors close around you. Every chain of false attachment is snapping. Every distraction is withering. Every counterfeit is being swept away to make room for what is real. My friend, do not mistake the silence for absence. Do not mistake the delay for denial. well. God is not ignoring you. He is aligning you. Your steps are ordered, even when the path feels empty. Faith is not sight. It is certainty in the unseen, and certainty is your fuel. So I command you now, stand, lift your head, wipe your tears, speak this truth with me. I am not forsaken. I am chosen. I am not abandoned. I am being prepared. I am not losing. I am rising. Say it until your spirit trembles with conviction. This is your furnace, but every furnace refines gold. Every wilderness produces prophets. Every exile raises up deliverers. You are not in a grave, you are in a garden. The soil has been turned, the weeds pulled out, and the seed of destiny planted deep. What feels like burial is birthing. Hit the like button now as a declaration of faith. Subscribe to walk this path with a community of visionaries turning their thoughts into wealth and their dreams into reality. And as you do, know this: the very act of faith you show here is a magnet for heaven's response. Listen to me carefully. When God removes someone from your life, it is never subtraction. It is multiplication through subtraction. He takes away what cannot hold the weight of your calling. He tears down scaffolding once it has served its purpose. He severs ties that would strangle your destiny. If you could see what he sees, you would not weep over who left. You would rejoice over what is coming. But the human heart clings. We clutch at relationships, at habits, at patterns long after their expiration date. We mistake comfort for covenant. We mistake attachment for alignment, and heaven must intervene. The hand of God will not allow you to marry your purpose to mediocrity. He will not let you anchor your future to someone who refuses to grow. He will not let destiny be delayed because you are afraid to be alone. So he prunes, he cuts, he removes, and the cut that hurts you now will heal you later. Do not confuse loneliness with loss. Loneliness is often the womb of revelation. Alone in the wilderness, Moses saw the burning bush. Alone in exile, John saw the heavens open on Patmos. Alone in prison, Paul penned words that shook the earth. Alone in the garden, Jesus sweated blood. But his "not my will, but thine be done" split history in two. Aloneness is not punishment. It is preparation. It is in silence that the voice of God thunders. It is in stillness that your inner compass awakens. It is in pruning that your branches grow back stronger, wider, heavier with fruit. My friend, pause right here. Drop 888 in the comments to mark your covenant with heaven's abundance and unstoppable manifestation. That number is not a gimmick. It is your public declaration that you are aligned with the eternal flow of provision. Fear is the shadow that tells you you will never recover. Doubt is the chain that whispers you are not worthy of better. Comfort is the tranquilizer that lulls you into staying where you were never meant to remain. But I tell you, break these chains now. Decide. Decision is the gate. Without decision, faith has nowhere to land. I once declared that every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent success. And I tell you now, every removal carries the seed of a greater replacement. Every closed door hides the key to a palace. Every betrayal plants the roots of elevation. You may not see it, but faith is the fire that makes the invisible inevitable. Look at Joseph, sold, accused, imprisoned, everything taken, everyone gone. But in one divine moment, Pharaoh summoned him from the pit to the palace. That is the power of separation. Look at David, hunted by Saul, hiding in caves, surrounded by the broken and bitter. But it was in those caves that he forged mighty men, and from those caves he rose to rule Israel. Look at Nelson Mandela, 27 years behind bars, years stripped of freedom, of family, of recognition, yet the world that once forgot him later crowned him with leadership. Look at Thomas Edison, who failed 1,000 times until he uncovered the one formula that lit the world. Removal is refinement, loss is alignment, and I tell you, your story is no different. What God takes, he replaces with more. What he cuts, he strengthens. What he denies, he transforms. But here lies the danger: bitterness. Bitterness is the poison that turns pruning into paralysis. It blinds the eye, hardens the heart and deafens the spirit. Release it. Forgive quickly. Forgive fiercely. Forgive not because they deserve it, but because you cannot carry that poison into your promise. Forgiveness is the gate you must pass through to inherit your Canaan. Declare it with me. I release them. I release the past. I release the pain. I rise unshackled, unchained, unstoppable. Do you feel the urgency? This is not philosophy. This is law. Heaven does not negotiate with excuses. God has written purpose into your bones, calling into your spirit, destiny into your DNA. But you must activate it. You must agree with it. You must decide that nothing and no one will hold you back. Subscribe now to walk this path with a community of visionaries, turning their thoughts into wealth and their dreams into reality. This is not entertainment. This is alignment. You are joining a covenant of builders, not drifters. Now hear me. When God removes, he also sends. The law of compensation is eternal. Nothing is lost in his economy. For every Judas that departs, a John remains. For every Saul that throws spears, a Jonathan appears. For every prison that chains you, there is a Pharaoh's summons waiting to lift you. The enemy will tempt you to run back, to grasp what God has released, to cling to what he has already judged. Do not look back. Remember Lot's wife. She turned into a pillar of salt because she looked back at what God destroyed. Looking back calcifies your future. Looking back paralyzes your progress. Forward only. This is your crossing of the Jordan. This is your Red Sea moment. The waters are parting, but you must step. Decision first, miracle second. Action first, abundance second. Obedience first, breakthrough second. That is the divine order. So I command you, rise now, shake off the ashes, lift your head like David in the cave, stand like Joseph in the dungeon, declare like Job, though he slay me, yet will I trust him. Act like Paul, who sang hymns in prison until the doors flew open. Walk like Christ, who set his face toward the cross, knowing glory lay beyond. The pruning is proof of the promise. The removal is evidence of your rising. If you were not chosen, the enemy would not bother you. If you were not destined, pruning would not be necessary. Heaven only sharpens what it intends to use, and so I tell you again, you are not forgotten, you are not abandoned, you are being forged, refined, elevated. Every tear is watering your harvest. Every cut is shaping your crown. Every silence is echoing with unseen orchestration. Chosen one, hear me. You cannot carry the old version of yourself into the future God is building. The former you, timid, hesitant, clinging to people who cannot go with you, that self is finished. A new you is rising, a decisive you, a courageous you, a faith-driven you who burns the bridges to mediocrity and marches into destiny without looking back. I tell you plainly, indecision is the thief of destiny. Doubt is the murderer of miracles. Hesitation is the assassin of purpose. Every great transformation begins with one uncompromising decision. The decision to become someone new. Not someday, not after the pain subsides. Now, this is your furnace moment. Delay has been your training ground. Silence has been your sharpening stone. Every rejection was heaven chiseling away what was unworthy of your crown. And now the verdict has been spoken. You rise. Say it aloud, right where you are. I am disciplined. I am called. I am unstoppable under God. Say it again until it thunders in your chest and rattles the chains of fear. You cannot whisper your way into destiny. You must roar it. You must declare it as law. Do not wait for others to confirm you. When David stood before Goliath, no one applauded. No one affirmed him. His own brothers mocked him. Yet he declared victory before he released the stone. That is faith. That is definiteness of purpose. I once said that definiteness of purpose is the starting point of all achievement. And I say to you now, without a burning purpose, you are a drifter. With it, you are unstoppable. Your purpose is your compass. Your faith is your fire. Your decision is your gate. Your persistence is your sword. And your action is the altar upon which miracles descend. Let me remind you, every biblical figure who rose by action. Noah built an ark when no one had seen rain. Abraham left his homeland not knowing where he was going. Esther walked into the king's throne throne room, risking death for her people. Joshua circled Jericho until walls crumbled. Ruth clung to Naomi and reaped a future she never imagined. Paul preached Christ at the risk of chains, and even from prison his words shook nations. And every historical overcomer you admire carried the same fire. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times but persisted until the light blazed. Mandela was caged for 27 years, yet emerged unbroken, prepared to lead. Marie Curie labored in obscurity, yet her discovery rewrote science. Gandhi bore ridicule and rejection, yet his resolve shook empires. Steve Jobs, rejected even from his own company, returned with a vision that reshaped the world. What do they all share? Faith, decision, persistence, imagination, the very laws I spent my life teaching. And I tell you, these are not options. They are eternal mandates. Align yourself with them and nothing can hold you down. Ignore them and you drift until death. So I command you now, decide. Burn the bridges to who you were. Close the doors to fear. Shut the mouth of doubt. Let go of the people God has already removed. Stop knocking on doors He has sealed. Forward is the only direction left, and because I will not leave you with theory alone, I charge you with action. In the next 24 hours, take one bold, non-negotiable step into your destiny. Make the call, write the vision, apply for the position, begin the business, sow the seed, mend the bridge, step where fear told you never to step. One step in faith outweighs 1,000 intentions. Hear me, your midnight despair is not final. I know what it feels like to cry out in silence, to feel forgotten, to wonder if destiny has bypassed you. But I assure you, dawn is near. The darkest hour is always the hour before light, and your light is breaking forth now. Do not underestimate what God is doing in this silence. The removal was necessary. The pruning was vital. The loneliness was sacred. You are being prepared, not punished, forged, not forgotten, trained, not abandoned. And here is the truth the enemy does not want you to hear. What is ahead is greater than what was behind. The person God will send is greater than the one He removed. The opportunity He is opening is larger than the one that closed. The dream He is awakening is more glorious than the one that died. Let this word pierce you. God does not subtract without multiplying. He does not prune without preparing fruit. He does not delay without designing destiny. Lift your head, straighten your back, square your shoulders. Say with me, I am no longer a drifter. I am a builder. I am no longer waiting. I am rising. I am no longer afraid. I am ablaze with faith. Do you feel it? The fire in your bones, the quickening in your spirit? That is heaven aligning. That is purpose awakening. That is destiny unfolding. And so I command you, act. Do not scroll away unchanged. Do not postpone your obedience another day. Do not delay what heaven is demanding now. For delay is a thief, and you have fed it long enough. Hit the like button now as a public declaration of faith. Subscribe to Walk This Path with a community of visionaries. Align yourself with builders, not drifters. This is your covenant step. Hear me now. The time for half measures has ended. The time for indecision has expired. You stand at the gate of your destiny, and the voice of heaven is thundering, enter. From this day forward, mediocrity ends. The chains of hesitation fall. The shadow of fear dissolves. Delay is shattered. Distraction is silenced. Comfort is stripped of its disguise. You will no longer bow to these thieves of destiny. They have stolen enough. Do you not see? Every crown first required chains. Joseph's prison was his proving ground. David's cave was his crucible. Moses' wilderness was his classroom. Job's loss was his testimony. Paul's chains became his pulpit. And I tell you, your losses, your betrayals, your removals, they were never the end. They were the chisels carving your throne. Every removal was a rescue. Every closed door was protection. Every goodbye was God's redirection. Stop mourning what heaven has already judged unfit for your future. Do not chase what God has cut away. Do not plead for what He has already replaced. Lift your eyes, see the doors He is opening, hear the chains snapping, feel the vaults of heaven swinging wide. What you lost cannot compare to what is coming. The subtraction was the setup for multiplication. The pruning was the preparation for fruit. The silence was the signal that heaven was speaking louder in ways unseen. This is your identity shift. You are not forgotten. You are chosen. You are not small. You are mighty. You are not abandoned. You are appointed. You are not waiting. You are rising. Say it with me. Declare it as law. I am chosen. I am called. I am unstoppable under God. Say it until every shadow flees, until every demon trembles, until your own ears believe the truth your spirit already knows. Faith is your fire. Purpose is your compass. Decision is your gate. Persistence is your sword. Gratitude is your armor. Action is your altar. And when you align them under God's hand, nothing in earth or hell can prevent your rise. Let the examples echo in your spirit. Noah obeyed when the world mocked him. Abraham believed when evidence defied him. Esther risked death to save her people. Daniel refused to bow and was delivered from lions. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego walked through flames untouched. Martin Luther King Jr. thundered, "I have a dream," while chains of discord tried to silence him. Gandhi shook an empire with nothing but conviction. Edison's light burned after 1,000 failures. Mandela led nations after years in a cell. Malala rose from Blitz to become a voice for millions. These were not ordinary men and women. They were chosen, like you, and they decided, like you must, to never retreat. I warn you, if you delay this moment, if you scroll past as if heaven has not spoken, the enemy will chain you again. Fear will return, doubt will whisper, comfort will lull you to sleep, and years will pass stolen. Do not let that be your story. You have one life, one assignment, one purpose, one crown. Do not squander it. Do not bury it. Do not trade it for the fleeting approval of those God has already removed. Stand, declare, act. For heaven is watching, and history is waiting for the sound of your footsteps. And if your spirit bears witness to this truth, drop 888 in the comments as covenant, not to me, but to heaven itself, declaring that you align with abundance, with manifestation, with God's unstoppable design. This is not suggestion. This is obedience. Hit the like button as a declaration of faith. Subscribe to walk with a community of visionaries who refuse to drift, who build, who rise, who turn their thoughts into wealth and their dreams into reality. Share this word with the one person you refuse to watch drown in self-pity and delay. Let them rise with you. For I declare to you, your wilderness has ended. Your silence has expired. Your chains are broken. Your new season is here. From this day forward, you are no longer a drifter. You are a builder. You are no longer overlooked. You are God's chosen. You are no longer waiting. You are rising. Lift your hands, lift your head, lift your spirit, for heaven has spoken. And when heaven speaks, no man, no demon, no circumstance can reverse it. This is the verdict. This is the decree. This is the command. Heaven has spoken. Your rise begins now.